I take the next
Grand Rising All. Um, Moment. We're going to have a discussion about child abuse, but not from a victim perspective. From a victor perspective. I'll be right back. So, excuse me. I am in the business of teaching about self-healing, and it is important that everyone is aware of how they heal themselves. I do not go around healing others. I teach others how to self-heal. Let me turn on the light. All right, so that's better. So, when it comes to healing, let's be honest, it's not always easy and feels good, but it does help in the long run. When you get honest about the emotions that you have concerning things that have happened to you in your past, you don't want your past to hold you back. And I learned something very positive about forgiveness. Forgiveness allows you to not be stuck in the past, repeating your past in your present. So, and a big thing about forgiveness is forgiving yourself first and foremost. So, with that in mind, I will briefly discuss how I got to this particular area of discussion concerning talking about child abuse. For the past 2 days, I've had dreams about the family I walked away from. And it was very traumatizing. The night before, I had a dream of my mother having chased me around, looking for me to physically beat me because things were not going according to how she wanted it to go. And with deeper introspection, I realized it was an indication of very detrimental mental illness caused by deep emotional wounds. And mental illness can be reversed with healing, self-healing even. So in the dream, my mother was very sure of herself that something had been Ari in the house. And she was looking for me to take it out on. And I ran away instead of in the past just staying still and letting her beat the shit out of me. And I hid under a trailer. And she was looking for me, angered, disgusted at whatever had happened to her. She wanted a release and an outlet. And I had been her outlet for all her traumas for years. The new ones, the old ones, the one with the men, the one where my grandmother had broke her arm. I had been so receptive to receiving her pain because I wanted to be there for her that I had been a open vessel for her to just, hey, pour all that trauma and pain into me. And I'm releasing all of that now. I mean, I've been releasing a whole lot of it, but I'm releasing more of it in this moment as we're speaking. And so the next dream I had after, it's like she was telling me why she was the way she was. Because my grandmother had abused her physically, emotionally, mentally, rejecting her, not being able to have open conversations about things with her. And using religion hardcore to do these things. My mother had revolted and rebelled. However, she hadn't really healed those wounds, and so she carried it on with her children. And I got the worst of the brunt, and I realized I learned how to not be a shitty mom because of it. I learned how to love myself. I learned that, yes, you may be my mother, but I'm not going to sit here and let you keep beating my ass because you're having a bad day. So I learned a whole lot. I learned that in this moment, she's not here. She can't hurt me. No, she's not here. So there's no need for me to be carrying that burden around like she's here. I've also learned, I'm still learning this, that some of the traumas in my body aren't from me. They're from her. She used to talk to me a lot about her ex-boyfriends, their abusive ways. She told me my grandmother broke her arm, and for the longest I've been feeling this pain in my arm. And I was wondering, I thought it was something she had did to me, and then I realized that's not mine. It felt like my arm was dislocated and things of that nature, and I said, what? And I finally made acceptance that it's definitely not mine, that burden to carry and to bear. And now my arm is feeling better. The abuse was so abundant that for a while I didn't know who I was, and so I left by choice. But yes, and I just X'd her out my life. Even if she changes, I just really hope she changes for herself and learns from it and treats others well, but mostly treats herself well and forgive herself and really own up to what she has done, not to let it keep her trapped in the past. But the dream with my grandmother, I was experienced how my mother wanted to be free, and something left her in a moment where she she felt like she couldn't be free. Because in the dream, my grandmother dangled me upside down and abused me when I was simply saying to her, I hope you know the true love of God. She was beating religion into me. And I realized this never happened to me as a kid. This happened to her. So it's like my mother was sending me messages, well, this is why I act the way I acted the way I act, or the way I act the way I act. And I was very offended because I had left her behind for a reason. Where I'm at and where she's at, it just isn't going to coincide. And even if she does decide to commit to a lifetime of peace, it's not, the changes she made will not be for me. It will be for her to go on with her life and live in peace. So I'm fully aware of that. And I did some more healing the day, that day after I had those dreams. Well, last night I had a dream where my mother was showing me that she was so lonely and she was looking for love in the wrong places when she really should be going within to find love from within, but she was seeking it from outside people. Driving in traffic enough to cause an accident. And my sister, who I walked away from all my blood family. She was there contemplating how to get her way and to get away from my mother because the abuse had affected her differently. Brittany had learned to become resourceful and cunning. A chameleon, if you one would say. And she reached out to a family member of ours who her name is Mrs. Harris, because Miss Harris has this control over my mother. My mother didn't say anything. And she asked, can I spend the day with you to get away from my mother? Because Miss Harris, she knew my mother wouldn't say anything with Miss Harris on the phone. And Miss Harris said yes. And Miss Harris and I don't have the greatest last intentions, best interactions, due to her trying to be a mother to my own daughter, helping my abusive ex get my daughter. And I see it as a reason and a purpose for that. And I've been able to heal from that and finally be able to forgive them. So in the dream, I wasn't really focused on Miss Harris. No, not right now. I'm doing some healing. Okay? You look beautiful. In the dream, I had asked, could I go to church with Sister and Miss Harris? Because I was crying out for help. Get me away from this codependent, sad sack of shit who was my mom. And no one wanted, and I felt rejection. And so I'm also dealing with feelings of rejection. I've been rejected a lot as a child. And somehow in the dream, I ended up next to my mother in the front seat. I don't know how that happened. And she whispered to me, you're coming with me. Codependency, like I need you. Please heal me, help me. Help me make sense of everything. And I'm like, you a grown ass woman. You got to do better. So my husband he's told me that he's had a lot of dreams of people from his past are trying to come in. And because he closed access off to us, they can't really, get access to us. They don't know what we're doing, how we're doing what we're doing. So they visit him in his dreams, and I started getting it. And for the past 2 days, I have very strong boundaries. I felt like I'm making a whole lot of groundbreaking moves internally and externally. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was still around y'all. So it's, my past is not welcome. When I get to the root of it, though, I'm carrying the trauma of abuse. Not only child abuse, but abuse from as an adult. And one day I'll talk about being abused by my daughter's father. But when I really got to the root of it, I realized what kept me in this place of whatever it's a trauma of being abused by a child heavily for years. And I've learned a lot about child abuse. I've kept this pain inside for so long, and it's time to release it, but to convert it into something beautiful. Awareness. For anyone who is experiencing child abuse, has experienced child abuse, if you haven't, I can help you identify signs, because child abuse, you can heal from it, and it does have a bit of it teaches you to be self-aware. It teaches you that if someone has the audacity and they'll justify why they're abusing their child in a way that is unnecessary, that they're really in pain, and that to inflict this damage onto a child and convince the child that something is wrong with them. I was labeled crazy, a dysfunctional problem child, so that my mother could hide what she was doing. And for the longest, with all the psychological abuse, the emotional abuse, the physical abuse, I believed it. I started to believe it because I felt I had no one to help me as a child. The reality that my mother had painted back in the time was that no one's going to help you. We're Black. No one gives a damn if you're showing up to school bruised and battered. I'll just say it's something that you're doing. I mean, I even was told to lie in school that my sister had beat me up. I had black eyes. I was getting beat on for about 3 to 4 years straight and talked down to in a horrible manner. And then she started doing less abuse, and she started less physical abuse, and she started doing verbal abuse, like I'll beat your ass if you don't come here. And at the time, I didn't realize that she was getting sick, and she was still trying to keep some form of control. So what I learned from that is an abuser will eventually have to experience whatever they put you through in their own unique way. And you don't have to stay in place when someone's abusing you. You don't, and that means physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. When you've had enough, yes, she said it, you've had enough. So I know there's some things my mother has said about me that's not true, because she doesn't want people to know that she has an abusive tendency. I mean, if you see her, she looks sweet as gold. She knows how to charm you. She got that Cancer charm. And I learned that you trust energy, and if you don't know what understand energy yet, take your time to get to know it, because it doesn't matter what it looks like. It really is energy. And a lot of people in the town I grew up in were very career focused. They were very 3D based. So the signs of abuse were present, but they didn't know how they can help. And because I had the reality that no one's going to help me, I'm just another black girl getting her ass beat in the projects, I got help, but not in the way I was expecting it. There was a couple of times someone had called social service to come check me out because I was showing up battered and bruised a lot. And somehow the mother, we're going to just, Miss Retha, that's her name, Miss Retha was able to make it look like it was something I had did. It wasn't anything to be alarmed about. And I'm not grateful that I got my ass beat like someone on the street tussling over a rock. You know, trying to get that next high and trying to see who's going to get it. But I am grateful for the wisdom I have. So I guess I'm being honest. I am annoyed at the fact that I'm moving forward in my life and healing, breaking generational curses that others want to keep me in, and I'm getting rid of traumas and things and stigmas that people put me under. It's amazing the same people that try to put me in these stigmas are trying to come back into my life, and it's very annoying. As I said, if you were my past and I walked away from you, I really just hope you learn from it and do better for yourself, not for me. And you will respect my boundaries. You will stay away from me. I love you enough to accept it. If you are willing to change, great. I'm happy for you. But I don't want nothing to do with you because I learned a whole lot of wisdom the hard way with you. And I take accountability. I got you back. Come on. I take accountability for not seeing the red flags, you know, because I used to deal with the same kind of people who look different, and I would say, well, they're different. They said it different, and the reality was you're dealing with the same type of energy span when you're gonna learn. And so eventually I learned that lesson. Whatever lesson it was I was supposed to learn. So I guess being abused as a child is no joke. And having people glorify it with religion is really, it's a fucking shame. And having codependent people try to keep you around and stuck in a cycle because they're stuck, it sucks. But what can we take from this? How can we turn this pain into something beautiful? Share the knowledge with the world, because there's no reason we should be walking around unaware of signs of abuse. Now, if you've been through heavy abuse, whatever kind of abuse you've been through,
whether it be physical, spiritual, emotional, mental, any type of abuse, any kind, in any nature,
talk about it. Share your knowledge with the world, but don't do it from a victim standpoint. Make sure you take that time to heal. Make sure you, my husband had to remind me, not what happened to you, what has it done for you? And so all that abuse, boy, it's hot in him. All the abuse that I endured has made me wise to what isn't good for me. It's also helped me come to the terms in this very moment that what I choose is important and my boundaries matter. And if I say no, I can change my mind. But if I choose not to change my mind, that is okay. Being through all that abuse for so long, The last time my mother put her hands on me, and I was when I was 19. Oh Lord, that was a day. And at the time I felt, well, she's my mother. She has a heart disease. I don't want to keep. I don't want to. I don't want to keep getting hit, but I also don't want to put my hands on her. But I'm really getting tired, fed up with stuff not going her way, and she's taking it out on me. I learned that I do not deserve to be beat on and bruised. I don't care if you're having a bad day. I don't deserve it. I also learned that anger that the women in my family have, I have it in me as well. But for me to walk around like, well, I just got that anger in me, so I'm just gonna lash out at people, that's irresponsible, that's unaccountable. So I'm confronting the anger, I'm acknowledging the anger, I'm finding healthy ways to convert that anger into passion, because the cycle of abuse ended with me, my family, my children's children, and so forth, for eternity will not experience abuse of that kind of ever again. Sexual, mental, physical, emotional, it's done. And I realize, yes, even though I can do the same exact thing that they did and justify it and glorify it, who do I have to blame if my kids say I don't want nothing to do with you? Myself. I have to take accountability of that. And my mother has to take accountability for that. You can't abuse a child for years and 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 then think, well, she's forgiving and she's empathetic, she'll stick around. Hell no. I told my daughter, honey, I don't care what my title is, if I'm your mother, your daddy, your grandma. I don't care if I'm the president. I don't care if I'm this, I'm that. Honey, if I mistreat you, because if I'm mistreating you, I want you to call me out on it. Do not let me mistreat you. Being around all that craziness, that chaos. My mother's a chaotic individual, but if you meet her, she looks like the most sweetest lady in the world. She hides her chaos so well. It helped me to create a peaceful environment for my family and within myself, mostly within myself, so that I can attract it everywhere I go. What you doing?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Being nosy.
I see that. So I told my daughter, it don't matter what it don't matter if somebody 99 years old. If you know that they need to do better and they trying to tell you how to live your life, don't listen to them. You call their motherfucking asses out. So the forgive me, y'all. The truth about child abuse, a child knows when they are being abused at a very young age, because intuition is strong when you are a child. Truth about child abuse, it's obvious if a child is being abused. Mentally, emotionally, physically, any way fucking possible. You can tell if a child is being abused. Look at the parent. It don't matter how well dressed the parent is or what they seem to say. You listen to what they don't say. You can tell if a child is being abused in some way if there's codependency or if they're distant from the parent. And child abuse takes different forms, and child abuse does not stay with you forever, because there are healing ability, there are healing looking for the word healing options that are different for everybody. And for me, talking about it helps. So When I first got pregnant with my first daughter, I was afraid because I was like, I don't want to abuse my child. And I have not, I don't abuse my children at all. I don't. And one of the ways I went about breaking that generational cycle of abuse is I left my daughter's abusive father and I started to deal with my emotions 12 p.m. And I started to get real. I'm angry as hell. And I was in this mode. Why did this happen to me? And now I'm looking at it. What did this do for me? Because it made me aware of abuse. It made me aware that if you are not dealing with your anger, you're not coming to terms with what is happening to you, how it's happening to you could be triggered and some would say black out, but no, whatever your trigger is, you could go and do what you do and hurt your child. And then because you not want to admit that you did some fucked up shit, you may try to justify it and be like, well, it won't happen again. But you're not dealing with the real root of the issue. So children will tell you if something is not right in the house. Let's keep it 100. Children are a clear sign. Everything isn't what it seems.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter how good.
Even if they don't say it from word to mouth, you can see it in their actions or something.
Exactly. Children are a representation of what's going on in someone's household. If the child is peaceful, carefree, and they know boundaries and respect, but they also know their self-worth, you can tell there's harmony in the house. But if the child is taking on the role of parent, if the child is oh, Mariah Carey, nobody care about that. No, let me not say nobody. Some people do. Some people love Mariah Carey. If you love Mariah Carey, gonna do your thing, ain't it? Oh Lord, forgive me. Um, if the child is taking on adult responsibility, somehow some form of abuse is happening. If it's mental abuse, putting a child under immense pressure, emotional abuse. Well, your sister's gonna be sad and crying if you don't do this. I mean, I'm going through it, and it shows a lot about the parents. So I'm not sure exactly how to open up a discussion where we or where action is taken is starting to take leaps where we are confronting these parents who are continuing cycles that don't serve them. Yes, you can have been abused. You could have been raped. You could have had anything happen to you. You could have been, but at the end of the day, only one who can change your disposition. So the families is the child not necessarily saying it's physical abuse, but there's something where that child is being restricted. Um, Obvious signs are marks on the body and the face. Less obvious signs are children that are withdrawn. And it's really difficult to talk to the parents who are doing it because they're willing to justify, well, you don't know what's going on in my household. You don't stay in my household. These are my kids and I'll take care of them. But at the same time, you're repeating cycles that can be broken. You're not giving children the knowledge that if something did happen to you that that you feel is unfair, and I understand if you feel that way, but you can heal from it. Let's talk about healing after child abuse. Let's talk about carrying this wound. Let's talk about let's say you're in a family and you're starting to realize I was abused. However, it was looked at as it's just completely normal. This is just part of life, stuff like that. Let's look at it from that perspective, okay? And you're starting to realize something isn't right. You go start to look for resources to help that will help you, because what works for me won't work for you. This is why I said self-healing. Anybody can self-heal. Find a healthy way to do it. I'm not condoning no craziness to craziness like going out on a killing spree and killing parents. No, I'm talking about going within. Because some people will take this message and be like, well, she said I need to heal. And they might start attacking parents, right? They might start attacking people who trigger them from their childhood. No, you go within. You got to talk to a therapist. For example, I'm gonna be honest with you, one of the things that has annoyed me to the max is because I have such a calm, healing presence, I would have family members who were triggered by it and they would put their stuff on me and call me names that they thought about themselves. So for years, I kept getting the word, she's unstable, she's crazy. And for years, I thought I was crazy and unstable, and I started acting like it. And then when I cut them bitches off, I had to, because they some toxic motherfuckers. I got away from them. I started to see that is not me. That's not me. That has nothing to do with me. But this has a lot to do with me. This is who I am. And then I started to really started to heal. You know? So I also started taking accountability for the actions that I chose to practice out of continuing this cycle of feeling like I feel like, I need to be around someone to feel fulfilled, because I was attracting abusers, because I was in a frequency of I'm an abusee, so I was attracting abusers. And it takes two to tango. So I'm not justifying the abusers abusing me, but I'm taking accountability for the action I, played in it. I gave my ex about 100 plus times, and he done did the worst of the worst of the worst. And I realized, Spain, you love yourself too much to keep that up. So I have separated myself from anything that's negative and toxic. And what I'm releasing today, and hopefully this can help someone heal, is that there was no need to walk around in pain from yesteryears. It's time to release it in a healthy manner. That means journaling, going outside and grounding and earthing, talking to Mother Nature, talking to someone who's trustworthy, that is on good vibrations about what it is that abuse unhealed. One can grow up and say to themselves, oh, well, I choose this type of man because I saw, my mother did it to me. And I saw my mother with a man like that when she abused me. No. Do you still want to keep this cycle up? It's going to be painful as hell to heal from these things, but you can do it. And it's totally worth it, because I'm telling you, it's time to start talking about the stuff we experience, the child abuse. If you've been molested, and not trying to trigger anybody, talk about it. The knowledge that you have on how to identify things, of how to stop cycles. We can be stopping cycles right now. So I guess I'm gonna take the attention, because I'm talking about this is helping me not look at, I'm still annoyed that my mother is trying to get back in my life after I done being like, no, honey, you done did too much damage. Lord knows. You done did so much damage. I done learned so many lessons the hard way, because I chose not to accept who you were in that moment. So I'm now choosing. I don't have to learn a lesson the hard way no more. I do not know who in the world says some lessons are best learned the hard way. Look, if you done been through as much growing opportunities, obstacles, level up experiences that I've had on such an extreme level, you get to the point where this don't have to be so hard. Let me make it easy on myself, okay? And so I'm gonna take it off from. I'm annoyed that she's trying to get back in touch and back into my life with how can we help the next generation of people break the cycle of not healing from child abuse if you haven't healed from it. I mean, because my expertise is not on how to stop it right now in this moment. What is it? What can we do to help ourselves stop the cycle of repeating child abuse? Even if you don't physically harm the child, you might be carrying on something from your generational bloodline that's not serving you anymore, and it could be a form of abuse. And it's not to feel bad about it. It's simply to acknowledge, keep it within me. I'm going to do the necessary work to purge it. And you can break generational curses. You can definitely do that. It's going to take work, and you will meet enemies from the same family that you that has a generational curse. And there's nothing wrong with it. You want to know why? Because while they're living in misery, not growing and evolving from it, and your family will be able to experience Dharma. So if you've been abused as a child and you're getting triggered and you're feeling things and you think about the people who did it, and it's just like, the negative emotions that come up, that's completely normal. How can you take the time to transform this pain into something beautiful? There's no need we sitting around here carrying childhood traumas. Because at this point in time, our past is not our present. I know there's a present that you want to experience that is so beautiful, and it's going to be something amazing and out of this world. And and you can have that, but it's time for us to go back into the past and make peace with the past. I can't change what my mother did to me back in the past, but I can appreciate the lessons I learned from everything I experienced. I don't understand why it happened to me in this moment, but that's not important. I'm focused on what has it done for me, because I realized before my daughter was spitefully separated from me for the present moment, but we also had our own lessons to learn. And reference to what I said, when you're breaking generational curses, some of your enemies will be the family members that you walked away from because they're not used to you're raising the bar. They are the ones who helped me while I was houseless, and I forgive them for it. Not, for reasons as of, well, they didn't know any better. I forgive them because I need to be free. And I hope they learn from their lesson. And eventually my daughter will be back home with me. And when she's with me, I will not teach I will not set the example to hold a grudge. Continue that cycle of holding a grudge. Anger, resentment. That's how you get diseases. That's how abuse continues. Not only abuse to others, but abuse to yourself. So, oh Lord. You have to go within to find out what works for you. You have to really let these emotions come to the forefront. The pain, all of it, let it come and look up. We got all this technology. Look up ways to heal, forgiveness, kindness, all that good stuff. My husband gonna be 44. He gonna be coming up here within 15 minutes because I'm just getting out some stuff. Okay. But if you are a survivor of child abuse, it's time to turn that survival mentality into a thriving mentality. Turn your pain into positivity. Don't look to, because don't look to get profit or for vengeance on those. And if that's where you're at right now, I get it. I understand. But that's not the purpose of healing. That's not the purpose of thriving after abuse, child abuse. The purpose of being a survivor of child abuse is to become a thriver, to help the next generation, make them aware of what it looks like, make them aware that if you're not able to communicate with the family member who's doing it and they don't know, you don't know what to do, it's okay if that's not your responsibility. Let that child become aware of how to heal from it. But you have to start your own healing process. There's no reason we should be walking around with our wounded inner children taking the lead. And there's a lot of grown folks doing it. That's why I told my daughter, I don't give a damn how old somebody is, what their position is, what their title is. If they in the wrong, they in the wrong. Your intuition will tell you if somebody is not being up to par in their highest self. You're not always going to be up to par in your highest self. So be open to receive it, but use discernment if that's what it truly is. And children's intuition is super heightened a good chunk of the time. So moving forward, I'm here to raise awareness that you can heal after trauma. And I've been through so much trauma as well as my husband. But I'm 29 years young and I've experienced 27 or 28 years of trauma. And I'll be honest with you, this healing journey has not been easy. And I'm not making up an excuse where I've been through this and that for so long. I have to continue dealing with it. No, I'm not going to continue that cycle with me or with my children. I'm going to experience true love with my husband. And my children will experience a blissful, Dharma-filled life. Even the one that is not with me in this moment, as of now. So, if you know that there's something that has been eating at you, come on, it's time to bring it to the surface. I know it's going to hurt. You got to call out of work to deal with it. You go ahead and do that. But it's time to break these generational curses. And so, you can heal from child abuse. I don't know how long it'll take, but it's not about that. It's just about enjoying the journey, as my husband reminds me. So, the title was The Truth About Child Abuse and all that good stuff. It's not about the abuser anymore, That's where I'm at right now. It's not about the abuser. It's not about, I'm healing. They ain't changing. What's gonna happen with them? It don't matter.
It's not about the abuser anymore. It's not about the victim anymore. It's about standing in your true power, overcoming the obstacle, and telling the story.
And to everybody out there that tried to break me, aren't you amazed at this goddess that I've transformed into? I was always a goddess, but you didn't want me to know it. And I now know it, and I will never forget it. And my children will always know that goddesses. And no matter what you try to tell them, my children's children, and so forth eternally will know that they are gods and goddesses. And nothing you can do can stop that. And I wish you the best. And before my husband gets up here, yeah, you got to have power in your words. Speak into existence the joy and dharma and bliss that your generations will experience. However, you have to do some inner work. Don't wait for the next generation to start doing the inner work, because if you don't do your own inner work, maybe the child you gave birth to might experience a better life than you, and you can't become attached to them or latch on to them, because if you're not meant to come with them, you're just not meant to come with them.
Right. It starts with you.
Yeah, generational curse, and then feel like you can slide up on it and enjoy the benefits of their labor. No, because if you haven't done any inner work, you're not going to be able. So you have to start. I don't care how hard it hurts. If you want to enjoy a happy family life free of trauma, you want to see perseverant, strong people, children in your family, grandchildren, and a happy marriage, and whatever it is you seek, you have to start that inner work with your self healing. And I guess I feel better because I put that message out there to my mother. One day she gonna hear about this message. You ain't doing no inner work. You're not welcome here. And as I said before, if you even do inner work, it's not gonna work with me. You're toxic. You're codependent. That is not gonna fly. And when I've tried to tell you the truth, you don't listen. So you're stuck. All you stuck people in my past, I don't care if you're not stuck. You stand in the past. Respect my boundaries. I respect yours. I will be graceful and I will always be humble with y'all. But I'm always gonna keep it 100 with y'all at the same time. Y'all motherfuckers in the past for a reason. You taught me a lot, but I refuse to have to learn another lesson with y'all motherfuckers the hard way. Now, oh Lord. I had to get that out there though. I feel so much better. Can you tell?
Good, yeah.
Um, so before my husband gets up here, I want to talk about this new reality that we need to put out here. True abundance in COVID. Now, I remember there was a lot of talk about we're going to be having a rise and fall in the economy. There's going to be a whole lot of hardships, and then it's going to bounce back, and it's doing that thing. But the reality is what you created, and you can have true abundance in COVID. And I need you to define abundance in your own way. It obviously isn't money, because you can have all the money in the world and still feel empty inside. And COVID, and this, or AKA the spiritual warfare has exposed to you that you need to go so deep within just to feel something worth feeling. You know, you can have all the money in the world and be able to order a pizza, or get that nice lavish car you want and all that stuff. But if you don't got inner peace or whatever it is you're truly seeking, you need to go deep within. So COVID is exposing that it doesn't matter what you have or what you don't have or what you feel you lack, because lack is an illusion, that abundance is a universal thing. You don't have to ask for somebody else's abundance or want what somebody else has. So I want you to get real still, do whatever you need to do to get in touch with your higher self. And I want you to define if it's in love in a relationship, great. Well, what inner work needs to be done so you can get this relationship? You know, because COVID is painting a picture. We got to lay off hours. You won't be able to. Well, a lot of folks don't know how they're gonna pay their rent, and a lot of this and that. And at the end of the day, stop focusing on what. Well, I don't know how this is gonna work out. What do you want to experience in abundance? For me, I want to experience family stability. Um, but I have to also I have to get deeper and define family stability for me. So create your new reality, true abundance in COVID. Um, And if you're just starting to do inner work, make sure you have a balance of just being, feeling your emotions deep and raw, and they will eventually pass. But you need to find that balance. And don't get lazy and stop your inner work. Just find a balance and just be. And I want y'all to think about, what are you glad that you didn't receive that you asked for? And y'all, let me spill that tea. I remember I had asked, I said, I want to be with my daughter's father, my first one. I said, I want us to be together forever. I'm glad I didn't receive that cup of tea, y'all. Lord knows, child. I'm glad I didn't receive the money I was seeking in the times when I was around my family and people that weren't good for me. Um, because it wouldn't have served me, and I wouldn't be able to express true bliss from experiencing something beautiful, because it would have been some fuck shit with it. You know what I mean? I'm glad I didn't receive yeses from the wrong opportunities. Also, is an affirmation. It is what it is. I deserve the success I have invested in. It is what it is. I deserve the success I have invested in. And last but not least, let's talk about rejection, and then you're gonna see my nice husband. Um, Rejection is a blessing, especially if you get rejected from those who aren't good for you. So I can thank them now, because had they said yeah with open arms, I would be feeling unfulfilled, and I would be in a group unsure of what I thought about something and how I felt. So now, because I'm in a place of peace and just harmony and relaxation, I can say thank y'all for rejecting me. Y'all people from high school, y'all people from middle school, elementary school, because I got a feeling all y'all motherfuckers gonna be like, that's Spain one day? Yes, honey. Yes, it's me. With my beautiful family. Living in abundance all the time. And abundance for me is inner peace and joy. Inner peace, joy, and serenity, and stability in all areas. Yes. Abundance in all areas, child. And so, thank y'all for rejecting me. Thank you for the blood family that I grew up with who rejected me. Thank y'all, because y'all helped me realize I don't want to be around y'all. I'm an innovator. I'm a leader. So why the hell I'm be following y'all? You know? And now y'all motherfuckers trying to find me to see what I'm doing, so y'all can see the next moves to make. So thank y'all for rejecting me. Thank you all the jobs that said no, you don't meet the requirements we're looking for. Because I didn't know that what I needed inside of me is what I need to get out to do what I'm supposed to do. So thank you for every form of rejection. I thank God for rejection. My husband started it. He was like, thank you for the yeses and thank you for the nos. And now I see why. And I'm super grateful for the rejection. So look at rejection in such a positive light that even when you get nervous, when you're about to call that job and say, well, I put my application in and I'm just following up. And because sometimes voices, they be like, well, they ain't going to want you. You ain't got this experience. You don't meet the bare requirements and minimum requirements. And I'd be like, thank you. If you say yes, thank you. Either way, I'm going to learn something beautiful and grow and expand. So it's all about perspective. So please do some self-healing today, and take a break, just be, and realize that it's about the journey. My husband has to keep reminding me of that. And today I had to cry and I had to let it all out. But I feel better now because I spoke about this. I hope that y'all can have your own breakthrough. And pat yourself on the back. Before you do any more healing, pat yourself on the back, say, job well done. Insert your name. So, job well done, Goddess Spain. Job well done. I'm so proud of you. Now go find something fun to do. You'd work too much. So, I'm going to turn on over to my husband. Not going to take it off his. Stop. I know. Don't worry about it.
What's up, everybody? I want you to right now, if you're going through something pertaining to what my wife just said, drop a like and drop something in the comments. Um, I I can give you advice. We can give you advice also, and such and such. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a general reading for the day for everybody. I'm gonna see what you guys' soul, what you guys need to hear from your soul. And then we'll get you out of here. Spirit, I would like to play a game of tarot with you. I do all my readings intuitively. What does everyone's soul needs to hear who is this in this video live today? Let's see if I can see. I'm using a 6-card spread. Okay. So your first card is Child of the Cosmos. The intelligence of the universe lies within you. So what I'm hearing is that you guys are looking for answers, and the universe wants to tell you, look deep within. Whether that means you do shadow work, whether that means you do inner work, look within because the answers lies within you. And when you find that answer, your next card is surrender to the sweetness, Venus energy, pleasures, joy, make love to life, enjoy life more. You guys once you give it to the universe, and the universe, and you find your answers, be fine with that. It's okay. It's okay to know what you know. It's okay to find out what you find out. Don't let that get you down. Enjoy life. Make love to life. For a life you only live once, if you're lucky. The next is the big picture. Pleiades energy, visionary, inspired ideas. So you guys have a big picture. You guys of what's going on, of how to do things.
They sell Lucy's at the smoke shop, not at the gas station.
Okay.
And she's gonna get you something from the, she'll get you a Lucy.
Okay.
And this is my chocolate, you can't have it.
So, and I'm also hearing that the big picture that you're looking for and you're seeking is within you. So you have the answers to your big picture, but while that big picture is coming, enjoy life is how you can do things to get there while you're waiting for your big picture to come true. And the first one is loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, density, addiction. Let God in. I'm hearing that you guys are holding on too tightly to the big picture. Whether I'm hearing it's abundance in finance, abundance in health, abundance in mentality. In your mental, it is abundance in your spirituality. So let go of it. Loosen your grip a little bit. Don't let it go all the way, but stop crushing it, holding on to it. What else you can do is deep cellular healing. Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. So what I'm hearing is that you guys may be going through it physically, mentally, and emotionally, but more emotionally and physically. So you guys may be, I'm hearing that you guys can be empaths also, and there are certain type of implements of others. So please let it go and heal. Do do your emotional healing, do your physical healing. Like I'm hearing, take a spiritual bath in your do it in your bathtub. Light some candles. Light your candles. Light your candles. Lay in the tub. If you're into, if they're into, yeah, I just got one card to do. If you're into rose petals in your tub, put rose petals. If you're into rose quartz and all those stones, put that in there. But start healing. And the last thing is to be cracked open. Cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. Some of you guys I'm hearing are have reached rock bottom. Whether that is in the 3D, whether that is physically, emotionally, mentally, physically, And you guys need to surrender to the alchemy of life because life has your back. Oh, the stones are right there.
No, my arm. Oh, forget it. Wait, the food truck.
I know, I'm coming right now. And then that's it. And the last thing is when you do that, you'll get balance. Messengers, Sirius, energy, bring harmony and balance. You'll be harmonized and balanced. Drop a like if that resonates with you. Drop a like if what my wife said resonates with you. And we'll see you in the next one. It was good serving you.
Even
Peace, love, and happiness.
if it's 15 minutes from now, we'll be